Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Blissful Living Podcast. I'm Dr. Rochel Marie Lawson, the Queen of Feeling Fabulous. And I am so excited to have our guest and our topic for today's show. I always like to bring in words of wisdom. So often we neglect our wisdom, our mindset. And if it's not right, there's not anything we can achieve that we want to. But one of the wonderful things about wisdom is our intuition, and our intuition actually connects us and expresses information we need to us that sometimes we negate. And so it's part of that whole wisdom component, that divine essence within us that's always trying to guide us forward in a blissful manner. So today's topic is follow your intuition, and my guest is Sima Collezione probably is the correct way. And so, as you know, I like to say, find a place to sit, get something to write with, your favorite pen, your favorite piece of paper or your pad where you take your nuggets of gold notes in from this Blissful Living podcast. Get your favorite beverage. I'm drinking water today, and tell your family to give you a few moments so you can engage and embrace the information that's going to be shared. While you're doing that, I'm going to take care of business. I want to thank our sponsors, Blissful Living for You at Blissful Living, the number 4, the letter U.com. Blissful Living for You focuses on helping you to elevate and transform your wellness, mind, body, spirit, and emotional well-being, your wisdom, your mindset, so you are in the right place within your head to make the right decisions that help you to negate your well-being as well as your wealth. And so if you're looking to enhance your wellness, wisdom, or wealth, if you're looking to get your body fit, looking tight, if you're looking to increase the essence of you that shows up in a more beautiful manner, and so much more, check out Blissful Living, the number 4, the letter U.com. The next sponsor is All Day Cable Incorporated. And All Day Cable Incorporated is a telecommunications installation company focusing on installing voice, data, and fiber optic cabling, as well as all things network distribution. So routers, modems, wireless access points, audio, video, speaker systems, monitors, whatever it is that you need so that you make the right connection with your customer on the other end. You want to check out All Day Cable. They've been in business for 35 years, and they are a woman-owned company located in the heart of Silicon Valley. So if you have a need, just so you know, they service small, medium, and very large corporations as well as transportation entities. You want to check out All Day Cable Inc. at alldaycableinc.com because they are the best telecommunications installation company in the United States. And if you want the best, then you need to do business with the best, and All Day Cable will act as your partner with regards to all your telecom projects. So you can check them out at alldaycableinc.com. So let me tell you about Sima. So Sima is a beautiful soul, and after living a complete life at the age of 50, she decided to follow her dream and passion as a fashion designer, and she created her fashion company, Sima Collezione. Ever since its inception in 2020, Sima has been featured in 7 international fashion shows and has received organic international fashion press all around the world. Ooh. And so with this mission, Sima is wanting to empower the inner light and inner beauty in each and every woman, and each cell will help another person in need through her brand charity. She says her purpose is to create a soldier of light and spread positive consciousness across the globe. And one of the ways that she does that is she creates these fabulous pieces that we ladies can wear. Now, she has a showroom in Milan, Italy, as well as bringing her dream and her mission to fruition. And so I want to welcome you, Sima, to the Blissful Living Podcast. How are you?
Thank you so much, Dr. Lawson, for having me on your podcast. And it's truly a pleasure and an honor to be here.
I love it. Now, okay, I said your last name was Collezione, but then on the screen I see it's Azadegan. Which one should I
Sure.
be?
Yes. So my name is Sima Azadegan, and I'm the founder of my company, Sima Collezione.
Okay, got it. All right. So, Seema, let's jump into this conversation about intuition because it's something very near and dear to my heart, and I'm very intuitive and have utilized in my intuition to guide me in so many aspects of my life, my business, my career, and everything that I do. And so, I want to ask you to share with the listeners um, a little bit about what is intuition.
Oh my God, Dr. Lawson, intuition is my anchor, is my knowingness that defies all the odds of logic. Now, how do you develop intuition? Intuition is something that you work on for every day of your life. For me, it started at a very young age. As I went through the journey of my life, through the ups and through the downs, through the difficulties, through the pain and through the suffering, I developed a strong intuition and a knowingness that's embedded deep inside of me. And it's my guiding light. Every day I live by it, I breathe by it, I make my decisions regarding intuition. And, it has taken me a long way. So it's an inner knowing and a deep knowing that you have developed through the years.
Love it, love it. I've used my intuition since I was a kid, and what I try to explain to people that it's your intuition always communicates with you. It is through feelings we get. It could be through visions that we get while we're, sleeping or while we're awake. It's always connected to our gut, so to speak, in our third eye, which is, right here. And so it's a muscle that we have to exercise and utilize for it to get better, and we have a deeper connection with it. We've got to take a quick break, everyone, but we'll be right back to talk about this fabulous topic with regards to our intuition. We'll be right back in just a few moments to the Blissful Living Podcast. All right, welcome back to the Blissful Living Podcast. And I'm talking to my guest, Sima, and our topic is follow your intuition. And so Sima was explaining like her intuition and what it has done for her and how she utilizes it. And so was I. Now I want to ask you this part, Sima, with regards to you started a business, a fashion with regards to all the stuff that was happening, in 2023 with COVID. What led you, and probably know what the answer is going to be, but what led you to start a fashion design company in the midst of when everything was kind of shutting down?
I know. So I created Sima Collezione in 2020 during the dark days of COVID. But this didn't just come to me, it came to me after I lived close to 15 years of going through the darkest days of my soul. Now, what is the darkest day of your soul is when you are confronted and when you're dealing with a lot of your weaknesses, with a lot of pain and suffering and issues that you have within yourself. So I was guided, I had some help, but I did go through 15 years of the darkest days of my soul. And when I reached the age of 50, and that is when COVID hit at 2020, somehow deep down, and again, my intuition was telling me that there had to be a reason for me to go through all those years of self introspective work and trying to figure out a lot about myself. And that's when it happened at 2020. I took I was brave enough to put my foot in my own authentic shoes and start and created this company, Sima Collezione. And just one thing went after another, just magical doors started opening up through the grace of God. And just amazing things have happened so far.
So would you tell anybody that's watching us or listening to us, if you get a nudge, if you get something that continually shows up in your mind, You might see a post that shows up that's resonating with all the stuff that's showing up in your mind. Somebody might say something to you about it. Would you say those are methods of your intuition trying to get your attention to guide you to what you're really divinely meant to do, such as what
Absolutely.
happened with you?
Absolutely. I get messages all the time. Now, is it through just, the best? I was just telling you, I was walking in nature. I do my hiking and I go up on the mountains. I try to do it like, once a day every morning. And so every time I'm walking in nature, now I have clues. I get clues as to what I need to do next. What is the next decision that I have to do? So I'm really listening to my inner voices. And I truly believe my inner voice, I'm being guided by my inner voices. And so that is my anchor. That my intuition is my anchor. And it guides me. And a lot of people might think, well, Sima, I've been doing this for 5 years and I've done an incredible amount of things in the fashion world. Probably a lot of people haven't, because I didn't have a fashion degree and I didn't have a fashion license. I just decided I was going to follow my passion. And the reason that I went through all those years, through my darkest days of the soul, had a purpose to come up with Sima Collezione and to use the dresses to eventually heal the world and humanity.
Oh, I love it. So you're saying, like, when you're out in nature and you're doing your hike, um, you're free from the distractions of just life, business stuff, right? In nature, being in that place of openness and connecting with all the beauty of nature, your intuition speaks to you and it helps to guide you with your processes. Do you use your intuition for creating the particular dresses or fashion that you create?
Oh, absolutely. These dresses, they come from the deepest part of my heart and soul. They embody a lot of light, beauty, and love. They're like fabrics. They've been like meshed with ingredients of passion, beauty, empowerment, love. And so anybody who sees the dresses will understand the vibration that these dresses have, because I didn't just, come up with a dress. I mean, I have gone through so much of self-introspective work to come into myself, and I'm just tapping in these ideas and creations from nature, from divinity. It's like an artist. When an artist taps in and creates something, it's so natural, it's so raw, it's so organic. That's exactly what these dresses are. You have never seen anything like this before in the world. It doesn't exist. And I'm confident they don't exist because they are coming to me organically. I'm just a vessel, Dr. Lawson. I'm just a vessel to do God's work.
And,
And
and the way you do that is by creating these beautiful pieces that come to you
absolutely.
intuitively. I think that's beautiful because they're not cookie cutter. They're
No.
they're very unique. It's whatever your essence and intuition is telling you, and you just follow the guidance that allows you to create these beautiful dresses. And I like that they each have their own individuality based on whatever it is that your intuition was guiding you to create for that particular piece. We're going to take another quick break, you all, but when we come back, we're going to continue our conversation about following your intuition and how it can help you with regards to embracing your passion and what your divine mission is here while you're on this planet Earth. So we will be right back in just a few moments to the Blissful Living Podcast. Please stay tuned. Welcome back to the Blissful Living Podcast. I'm the queen of feeling fabulous, Dr. Rochel Marie Lawson, and I'm talking to Sima, and we're having this beautiful conversation. This is the part of the essence of wisdom. I want to ask you this because I think so often we get that little nudge and we don't listen to it. We get that gut feeling and we discount it. We start having things show up because we're not paying attention to the nudge. We're not paying attention to the gut feeling. And we still don't believe what's showing up. And this is all, I think, part of our intuition. But what happens when we don't follow our intuition? I have a story I could share as well, but I want you to share with the viewers and the listeners as to what happens when we don't follow our intuition.
Well, when you don't follow your intuition, there is some kind of a not discouragement. I think it's just not sitting well with me. So during this process, when I'm tapping into my intuition and I have a lot of resistance coming to me that's questioning me, sometimes in my own head, fears that come to me, whether I should take this opportunity, whether I should not take this opportunity, even close people around me, they're kind of like telling me, why are you doing this? Well, you should be like, you've lived your life, you should be just, enjoying it. No, I knew that I'm here for a higher calling. I knew I'm here for a higher purpose and a mission in this lifetime. So I listened to my intuitions and I kind of like, put away all of those naysayers, people close to me, and also sometimes in my own head. But Dr. Lawson, you have to understand this is a difficult thing to do, to be able to kind of, all the fears that's in your head, to somehow have clarity. No, well, with all the fears in my head, I'm going to listen to what my heart is telling me, or even the people around me, which that we can go on and talk about those people, the people around me that were not, very embracing or supportive during my whole process. I decided through a lot of self transformation, a lot of work on myself, to finally just decide to listen to me. And when you start listening to you, when you have self confidence and start listening to you, that's when the magic starts.
I love it. Um, for all of you watching us and listening, one of the things that it can be very profound is, with regards to a question I was asking Sima, is like, what happens when we don't follow our intuition? When you don't follow those gentle nudges, that gut feeling, the things that show up in your head, um, it's almost like they're warning signs. And when you don't follow your intuition, which your intuition can guide you to really positive things, or it can guide you to help try to prevent you from having negative things happen. For instance, everybody has experienced this. You're walking somewhere, it's dark, and you may have experienced it as a kid or, just recently. And you just got this kind of feeling like, I probably shouldn't go that way. Even if you're driving, "Oh, I probably shouldn't go that way." And you decide not to go that way. Well, that's part of your intuition. But how about if you decide to go that way, or you decide to discount the wisdom that's coming to you through your intuition, then you end up in some kind of situation that was probably meant for you to avoid if you would have listened to your intuition. And one of the things that happened to me, this was years ago, was I was getting ready to rush off to a meeting. And my intuition told me, stop, open the cabinet as I'm backing out of the garage, open the cabinet that's in front of me in my garage and pull out a booklet. And I was like, I ain't got time. I got to get to where I'm going. And so I left, went, had the meeting, but on the way back, I received a phone call was very traumatizing, and it related to information that was in that booklet. Now, had I listened to my intuition and taken the extra 30 seconds to get the booklet, I would have avoided the trauma, but I didn't. And so my intuition was actually trying to help me to prevent the trauma that was going to happen from this booklet. And so that was a hard lesson. I got through the trauma, of course, but I could have avoided it. And there's been other times where, when I was growing up, I've been very, very intuitive. But when I was growing up, it was like I didn't pay attention because I didn't really understand what was going on. Don't go home late. Don't come home late or you're going to be in trouble. Well, I stayed out late anyways and got home and got in trouble. Little things like that. I mean, but also there's been very powerful moments when I listened to my intuition and it led to a big business contract, or when I was in clinical practice as a nurse, being able to help physicians see what they couldn't find, what was wrong with the patient, or me tapping intuitively into myself and being able to connect with a patient's intuition that led me to help them become better and get discharged from the emergency department instead of going and being admitted to ICU. So basically, you all, your intuition, it starts to talk to us subtly, very gently. And the more we don't listen, the louder it gets until it stops. And when it stops, that's when we should have paid attention, because what can come into our lives will not necessarily be positive or pleasing to us, but or what could have come into our life could have been very positive and pleasing, but because we didn't listen to our intuition, we missed a very divine opportunity. And so, Sima, with regards to our conversation around intuition, when you decided to follow your intuition and go out on a limb and create, a fashion design company, did your intuition lead you to doing it in Milan? Of course, that's one of the fashion capitals of the world besides Paris and New York, right? But did your intuition lead you to Milan versus Paris or New York?
Absolutely. At the start of me creating this company, I already had a vision of how this was going to play, or how this was going to plan out. I had the vision. And when you have the vision, you only have the vision of what is going to happen. So the people around you, they think you're crazy. What do you mean? You've never done this before in your life and you want to go to Milan? And I said, and I knew deep down, listening to my intuition, that it was going to happen. Now, was this a tough journey, Dr. Lawson, from the beginning until getting into, having a showroom in Milan? Absolutely. I was tested back and forth, tested. The people that came towards me, the opportunities that were given to me to take this brand forward with them. I had a lot of people and a lot of opportunities. They wanted to use me to just make tons of money, but my intuition didn't allow that to happen. I just couldn't. I could not align myself with just people. I knew that this is a mission-oriented brand. I needed to come through with people that are divinely guided with me to take this mission forward. And I sat on it, and I rejected a lot of people. I just said no. It could have been very easy for me to just, let the dresses go to influencers and movie stars. Listen, I had reached the top of the fashion press and had all the fashion press of the world. I didn't give them to any movie stars. I didn't give the dresses to any influencers because it was not meant to be that way, because I listened to my intuition.
I love
And
it.
now we're there.
I'm sorry, Sima, we got to take another quick break, but we will be right back to the Blissful Living Podcast. I'm loving this conversation because I think it actually is helping people to understand how powerful your intuition is and why you should follow your intuition. We'll be right back to the Blissful Living Podcast in just a few moments. Okay, we're back. This is Dr. Rochel Marie Lawson, the Queen of Being Fabulous, and I'm with Sima, and we're really diving into following your intuition, and she's sharing how her intuition actually helped her to create a fashion design company, to not just create it in Timbuktu, somewhere small in the United States, but to really go to the fashion capital of the world. Every supermodel that's doing runway modeling wants to go to Milan, because when you make it to Milan, Paris, New York, you're making it into the big time. And so everyone wants to, in that industry, wants to be showcased in Milan. So with regards to words of wisdom for our audience as we come to a close to the show, and in our conversation of following your intuition, what would you like to share with those that are listening and watching us when it comes to intuition?
For the listeners, for everybody, the most powerful message that you will get in your life is your intuition. And it can defy all logic. Be aware of that, listen to yourself, and each time as you work on yourself, you build your intuition and it will get stronger and stronger. And when you rely on your intuition, believe me, it will not stray you the wrong way. You will find your way, you will find your path, and reach the land of milk and honey.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you, Sima. That was wonderful, wonderful. I like how you said when you begin to follow it, it gets stronger and it gets more powerful and it brings more message to you. But you have to trust in the very little subtle things as you begin to develop exercising that muscle of your intuition. So thank you so much for your words of wisdom, for
Oh
your
my
story, your journey. You gave people hope and light that sometimes that little voice we have or that gut feeling we have is not bad. It's our intuition trying to guide us to what's our divine purpose and what's for our highest and best good. So thank you so much. Congratulations on your work in the fashion industry. Um, that's huge. I mean, uh, eons ago, I did some modeling and was doing some stuff with the Ford agency in New York. And Eileen wanted to send me to Paris, but I was married and I couldn't. I was young, but I was married and I didn't feel I could go to Paris or Milan at that time. And so that opportunity bypassed me. But just every time I hear about the word Milan, and I've been to Italy a lot, but I have not been to Milan.
Well, I have to take you with me next time I go.
Let me know. Let me know.
It's
I would
the only way.
love to join you and just be an inside scoop of watching you do your creative stuff and
I would love that.
beautiful fashion. And so thank you, Sima. It's been a pleasure having you as a guest on a Blissful Living podcast.
It's truly my pleasure, and thank you, Dr. Lawson, for having me on your podcast and allowing me to share my story, my wisdom, my insight. And I hope that I have helped your audience to believe in yourselves, trust your intuitions, and move forward with strength and positivity in your life.
I love it. Beautiful message. To all of you viewing and watching and listening to us, again, share the show with everyone you love and care about. Make sure you subscribe to the show so you get advanced notifications of wonderful guests like Sima that I have on. And it just helps to bring a little bit more positivity, divine light, essence, and wisdom into our lives. And anytime we can get that information, it's meant to help us move forward as we travel on our path to bliss. I want to thank our sponsors, Blissful Living for You at Blissful Living, the number 4, the letter U.com, as well as All Day Cable Inc. at alldaycableinc.com. And until next time, I'm wishing you peace to your mind, wellness to your body, tranquility to your spirit, and please follow your intuition. It will never, ever, ever lead you astray. Until next time, goodbye for now.